Scissor Seven, an anime that I feel that doesn't get enough credit that it deserves. So basically the story is about a guy named Seven, who is a former killer, and he is washed up on the beach, clinging to dear life, and he's rescued by these two chickens. Yes, these two chickens, named Daibo and Xiaofei. They take him in, get him help, get him recovered, but unfortunately he has amnesia, and he doesn't remember who he is or where he came from. So Daibo takes him under his wing, kind of trains him a little bit. For example, he gives him this chicken egg to where he can turn into whatever he thinks of. So they need money so they can pay rent. So they become hitman killers. So they can not only afford to pay rent, but they can also make enough money to go to Stan. Stan is a place where scientists do experiments on people, animals, themselves, and apparently Stan can help with Seven's memories. They start taking on these jobs, and as they take on these jobs, instead of killing their targets, Seven starts taking on these jobs. Instead of killing his targets, he ends up making friends with them and helps them out. For example, this cat wants to kill this dog called Mad Bark, and not kill him, but stab out his eyes. But instead of stabbing his eyes out, he finds out as to why she wants his eyes stabbed out. And basically, they had a love interest. They were in love. He ran away because dogs and cats can't have children together. And then there's this older woman, and I'll talk about her later. She wants this guy who collects underwear assassinated because they think he's a pervert, but instead of killing him, Seven ends up saving him and helping him out because he doesn't really hurt anybody. He doesn't steal the underwear, he just collects them. And along the way, he meets this other killer named 13. And during his battles, Seven blacks out and reverts to his older self, or his dark side, as I like to refer it. So that's basically the plot in a nutshell. Seven is a former killer who doesn't remember who he is, so he wants to get his memories back. Pretty simple plot. The show is very comedic, it's silly, it's funny, but it can be serious at times as the season starts to end. The first season was 14 episodes, and then the next couple of seasons is 10 episodes. So as the seasons go along, the story will start to get serious. The comedic tone of the show starts to dim down quite a bit, which I like. You don't want it to be silly all the time, especially if there's a serious moment. Another thing that I like about the show is that you figure out a lot of the main characters' backgrounds as well, which I think is very important for a show to be successful. You need the main characters to step aside and let these other characters breathe and get people invested in these other characters and find out who they are and where they came from. Each episode is about 12 to 15 to 18 to 19 minutes long. If you were to binge watch it, you'd be done with it pretty quickly, which is great because actually, if there's a fight scene, you could get about 8 or 10 minutes of just straight action going towards the end of the episode, depending on how long the episode is. The fight scenes are amazing. They're fast, fun, and smooth. Even the animals in the show get action scenes. Chickens, cats, dogs get fight scenes in this show. Now let's talk about some of the characters. Seven is a totally different person from how he was when he had all his memories. He cares about his friends, he's silly, kind of a moron. He's also a hairstylist because freelance killers have to find something that will help them lay low, so they won't be so easy to find. His main weapon is his scissors that he can control with his chi, but he is unaware of how dangerous and well known he was when he was a shadow killer. His main weapon for when he was a shadow killer was the 1000 Demon Dagger. It's a weapon that's cracked into pieces, but when used, the shards of the blade separate and can be controlled by his chi, I would say, and it can be impossible to defend. But the sword only seems to respond to him and nobody else. By the age of 15, he joined the Shadow Killers and quickly made a name for himself. By the end of season 2, he gets in contact with his former self, or his dark side, as I like to put it, and finally gets a better understanding of who he is or who he was and understands what he needs to do. 13. She's also a killer. When she was little, she looked up to her father, who was a very skilled swordsman. I think he was considered to be the best in the world. She wanted to be a swordsman just like him, but he wouldn't teach her because he believed that women didn't deserve to wield a sword. Then she watched her father practice and began training herself. One day her and her mother were attacked by killers, but unfortunately she wasn't able to protect her mother. As 13 was about to die, a shadow killer known as Green Phoenix saved her. She asked him to train her so she can be able to defeat any swordsman, including her father. Eventually, she crossed paths with Seven multiple times. Over time, she begins to develop feelings for him, which complicate things for her because killers must not show emotion. It can be their weakness. Plus, Seven really likes her, so there's your love angle of the show. Daibo and Xiaofei. These two end up saving Seven when he was on the beach, laying there unconscious. They came from a chicken farm where chickens' fate were to be eaten by humans. Xiaofei's father and Daibo's friend, Daifei, fights this strong chicken known as King Pheasant in a cockfight so he can get Xiaofei out of the farm and give him a better life that he wants. But King Pheasant cheats and ends up killing Daifei brutally. Daibo challenges Pheasant, beats him, and ends up freeing the other chickens, and because of his time on the farm, he has a disdain for humans and tries to develop ways for humans to kill each other. But him being Seven's friend for such a long time, his views on humans start to change and looks at them differently. Also, Xiaofei can grow like a human muscular body from the bottom of his body, his little round chicken body. I don't know how he can do that. Prince of Stan. I really like this character. I love how he was able to defend himself with his technology and fight off other strong opponents. Now, whenever he transformed, he would like go into his underwear, like he'd have a suit of armor on his chest and his arms, but down low he would have like these metal boots or these technology boots and a pair of underwear. They could at least given him some like high-tech pants or just a high-tech suit, just finishes out the outfit or the high-tech outfit. But anyway, he invades Chicken Island, tries to steal a core of the rare ore that's located in the heart of the island. By the way, the island that Seven and some of the other characters live on is called Chicken Island, in case I didn't mention that in the beginning of the video. Even though he acts emotionless, he begins to kind of envy humans' emotions, particularly happiness. Chairman Jiang. She's the chairman of the island, known as Purity Society. Much like Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho, she can resort back to her youth by kissing a younger gentleman. Apparently, she kisses Seven to resort back to her youth. She is a crabby old woman, I would say. She used to be a part of this Sky Lotus Society. She has some history with one of the shadow killers named Redtooth. Redtooth's actual name is Ah Quan. He was a part of the Sky Lotus Society as well, with Jiang. He confessed his feelings for her, but she rejected him, and he was pissed. Well, he was pissed after she got promoted as the Lotus Society successor. Then he was pissed. He became a demon, came back to the Lotus, killed all the students and many other people along the way. He also tried to kill Seven a couple of times. If he bites you, he can drain your blood and he becomes stronger. Hai Dachum. Hey Dachum. These freaking names, man. Full-time bodyguard and full-time security guard, mall security guard. He is dedicated to martial arts. He can harden his body and turn into gold. It's called the Indestructible Virgin. In season 3, you'll find out that he was banned from this island called Rock Hard Island, an island where it is riddled with chiseled bodybuilders, homosexual bodybuilders, but he was banished because he was not able to grow any muscle and he got ridiculed and bullied. Next up, Green Phoenix. There isn't much about this guy. He is 13's master and he trains her. He's the one that told Seven about the 1000 Demon Dagger and told him where to get it. Something tells me that he's going to aid 7 and 13 along the way, or maybe 13 will end up fighting him. Like they'll probably have her fight her father and then her master, or maybe he'll end up hurting 13 and then 7 will get pissed off and will want to kill him. I don't know, but I do think that he is going to be an aid down the line in this story, and he's also a shadow killer. So, also he teaches Killer 13 that emotions are a killer's greatest weakness, but part of me feels that as if he at one point in his life got emotions for somebody and it probably cost him. And I think he has some emotions for 13 as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that he actually cares for 13. And then there's Captain Jack. Captain Jack, who is a pirate, kind of like 7, well, in a way, silly. He walks around in his underwear and weird large cone haircut and these boots, but they look like socks. He wants to get revenge on 7 because 7 gave him this huge scar across his torso and he ended up having nightmares about 7, so he wants to defeat him in battle so that he'll be able to move on with his life. That's some of the characters. There's a few more in the story that are pretty interesting and that you'll see in the show. But yeah, Scissor 7 is a very underrated show. I don't think it gets the recognition that it deserves. I would put it up there with some of these animes that are talked about today. I think it is the best underrated anime today. And shoot, man, some of these love animes that's out there gets more recognition than Scissor 7, and it's like, show my boy 7 some love. But yeah, Scissor 7, it's fantastic. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's a great anime. The characters all have nice backgrounds. You can get invested in each character. It's a very easy storyline to follow. It's not too complicated. If you're someone that hasn't seen the show, I would recommend you go watch it. And it's on Netflix. Even though Netflix is kind of pissing a lot of people off right now, but whatever. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother video, maybe. Anyway, my name is Life Sucks. I do random topics like this, talk about anime, video games, viral videos, stuff like that. But I may lean more towards anime. I like making these videos a lot more. We'll see. So if you're an anime fan, please subscribe, definitely. So yes, please like and subscribe. That is it. I am out.